Hi Taurus, welcome to your April 2019 Tarot and Astrology reading. You're very welcome back to the channel if you're a regular here, and if you're new, welcome also. Please subscribe if you haven't already, because we're going into Taurus season. So towards the end of the month, on the 20th of April, the sun will be entering your sign, and we'll go more into that in the mid-monthly. We'll touch upon it here, but there's quite a lot of stuff happening toward the beginning. Particularly situated in your 12th house of the subconscious mind. Now, whenever there's so many planets in the subconscious house, you begin to understand yourself more on a soul and emotional level. Uranus has been there for the last 7 years. It recently changed into your sign. And if you haven't felt that already, it is probably because you are a middle to late degree Taurus. If you are born in April and you're a Taurus, you've probably felt the Uranus shift quite substantially. And even if you're not entirely sure what that is, you will notice there are different things in your life that are calling you. You know, it's kind of like the Judgment Tarot card. All of a sudden, you're called to do something. It's kind of like a soul purpose, which is the beautiful thing about a sign switching from your 12th to your 1st, because you get the soul purpose and then you get the momentum. Now, for the last month and a bit, we had Mars in your sign. So you've already had a bit of that first house energy. But I'm going to begin with the 12th house energy because Mars is doing something exciting this month as well. But the new moon in your 12th house is on the 5th of April. So with the sun already there being Aries season and Mercury joining there on the 17th, Venus, your ruler, joining there on the 20th, you're going to be potentially quite psychic in many ways, Taurus, if you're not already. You'll be sensing things, you'll be feeling things, you'll be experiencing synchronicities, and they're all there to guide you. I asked somebody the other night if they believe in signs, and they said that they had this wonderful experience. And they're not really an overtly spiritual person, but they're open-minded, and they had this wonderful experience with an animal, the stag, and looking up what the symbolism meant. It was very much an indicator that the person had sort of instances of clairvoyancy that I could spot in them, because I've seen them do certain things and tell me certain things, but they wouldn't understand it as so. The beautiful thing about the 12th house is it gives you that translation. It allows you to see where you're picking up on things and get this very clear radar that picks up beautiful instances where you know you're being guided to something bigger. So with that purpose coming in with Uranus and that rebellious spirit, you're going to feel incredibly drawn to things, and it's up to you to follow that guidance. Mercury is no longer in retrograde in April. And with it moving into your 12th house, you will pick up so many messages, so many feelings, different possibilities, particularly if you work in the medical profession or in the criminal justice profession, you know, in prisons, anywhere that has vulnerable people or people susceptible to their own subconscious drawings. It can be quite a feared house by people because people were always taught to be God-fearing. And that's why people are scared of the 12th house or the 8th house, because you've been taught to be God-fearing. You've been taught not to be open-minded. So for some people it's scary, but it's not. It's to do with knowing yourself on a deeper level. With Mercury here, it's time to surrender to past pain, because the 12th house can rule your past, okay? So with Venus going into that sign, with Mercury there, with the new moon there, it's a good time to release. New moons are all about starting a new cycle, but with starting a new cycle, sometimes it's good to give things away. So when the sun enters your sign on the 20th, you'll be completely responsible for your own actions. You'll know yourself better. You'll do what you're motivated to do. And then we have a follow-on blue moon in Libra after the first supermoon in Libra, occurring in your 6th house in the 29th degree. So something's wrapping up since the last one. But it's the best time to break a habit, Taurus. So if you need to break some kind of habit in your life that's holding you back, it's time to break that. Now Mars, let's talk about Mars, because Mars was in your sign. Now it's shifting into Gemini in your financial sector. Okay, so big energy towards making yourself money. I think this is a great book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, if you've not already read it. It's actually it's the reason that I started this channel. Because it's all about going after your passions and what it is that makes you feel passionate and just doing it, basically. But it's a really wonderful book, so I would recommend reading that while Mars is in your financial sector, okay? So you're going to put more energy into making money, you might do more hours in work, you might try to spend to prove yourself or impress others, and you may also be more possessive than usual. You know, Taurus energy is that I possess. You can feel very defined by the things that you own. So you will either direct your money into making money, direct your energy into making money, or you will direct your energy into spending money. It's up to you. But it's a great time to take initiative. Three of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. For a lot of you, it's about taking the initiative. Three of Pentacles is all about beginning an accomplishment. Queen of Swords has the logic, the rationale, and the drive to make things happen without being emotionally invested. You're learning the art of detachment, is what I see here. Having goals and having dreams, but not being so attached to them that you feel lost without them. Ace of Swords. You're finding a way to speak your truth, even if it is a double-edged sword. You're realizing, Taurus, that people have to take you as you are, which is important. You have to be who you are. If you're a feisty Taurus, you have to be a feisty Taurus. If you're a sensitive Taurus, you have to be a sensitive Taurus. You have to be who you are going into your project, especially if there is a matter from the past that is being dredged up with all this 12th house energy. Even though Mercury is no longer in retrograde, the 12th house can provide platform for people from your past who still have to tell you something. And the Ace of Swords can be just that, someone telling you something. And from there, you're at a crossroads. So an old offer or an old person giving you food for thought. It could be an air sign, it could be an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini, or you could be dealing with somebody who is a friend under that bracket. Could be an air sign, could be a long-term person in your life, and they're making a decision and they need your help. For some of you, it's a fire sign. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. And for others of you, Taurus, your obsessions are what you need to free yourself from. As I said about that full moon in Libra, the blue moon, best time to rid yourself of a habit. 6th house is where your habits lie. And with a full moon there, it's the best time to break free from that. And you obviously have a very unhealthy one if the devil is here. And for a lot of you, it's an unhealthy attachment. Okay, Taurus? It's an unhealthy romance. 2 of Cups, 10 of Swords, 5 of Wands, Page of Wands, Temperance, and the 7 of Cups. For a lot of you, it's a Sagittarius. And for others of you, it's leading back to a Sagittarius that you don't even talk to anymore. Someone who gave you reason to feel suspicious and fearful, and this is being drudged up with your 12th house energy. Exes can resurface in your dreams, in your daydreams. They don't necessarily have to call. Astrologically speaking, nothing goes away until it teaches you what you need to know. There's something, Taurus, that is fundamental to your healing process. Okay? Temperance in the 7 of Cups. You don't trust the process entirely, but trusting it is what's going to heal you. If you're dealing with fire signs, they are challenging this month. They're challenging in the sense that you're butting heads on opinions. You're butting heads on directions to take, particularly if you're romantically involved. There is a habit that is unhealthy that is getting in between the two. So if you're attached to a fire sign, your arguments could go nuclear as you read between the lines on absolutely everything. But you don't have to do that, of course. if you feel all these feelings coming up with the 12th house, the best way to deal with that is to embrace it privately. The 12th house is quite private, so going for a walk in nature is always great for Taurus people. If you meditate, it's great for you to feel grounded. A lot of this is root chakra energy, red energy, wearing red, feeling grounded to the earth below. It's funny with the King of Wands here and the Devil. It can often indicate an unhealthy level of attachment to one's career. And as I said about Mars being there, Mars is Aries. Mars is the warrior energy. And when it's in Gemini, people fight verbally rather than physically. They use their intellect and their rationale and their mentality. For you, it's second house energy, which is your house. So you might not quite get that. You might be very much in the put your money where your mouth is mode, but other people are embracing the Queen of Swords energy and using verbal warfare in the month of April. Now, when the sun goes into your sign, you get rejuvenated with all this personal power and all this willpower and all this strength and all this confidence that you felt a little burst of with Uranus. And Uranus and the sun are going to be hitting off each other. They're going to be conjunct during your season this year. And for you, that is all about experiencing profound changes and moments of rebellion within yourself. And other people might not know how to take that. You could have people show you how much they care by their own possessiveness. And as a Taurus, that's quite natural to you. You like that energy. But with the Devil, it means that there could be an imbalance and it could be somewhat verging on unhealthy. There could be people threatened by your newfound freedom because they're not used to that with you, Taurus. With the 12th house energy at the moment, although you may have great drive and you might have great ambitions with your finances, your emotional life is pulling at you and longing to be recognized because something is long-standing and you need to move forward. Okay, so 6 of Cups, 6th house, habit. A person has most likely become ingrained in your head to the point it's part of your routine. And for a lot of you, this is somebody you don't speak to. But you're still having that conversation in your head. You're still wondering what that person's doing to the point they are a routine. And for a lot of you, you're finding out ways to cut that cord. You're trying to find out ways to change that. And what's funny that's going to happen for a few Taurus is that the second you cut that cord mentally, something or someone pops up that meets that narrative, that fills that void. And that's what the art of a detachment is. When you let go, it happens. When you have built up all this energy and you finally have that sigh of relief and say, let it be, that's when it happens. So, for a lot of Taurus, this month is about readdressing something that is long-standing within your subconscious. And it's very healing. You don't often see temperance come up with the 7 of Cups because that's incredibly emotional, especially, as I say, if you're dealing with Sagittarius energy. 7 of Cups and temperance is all about healing that which you don't understand but trusting it anyway. Temperance comes up when you're being guided, and as I talked a lot about signs at the start of the reading, this month for you is going to be so ethereal, so ecocentric. It's going to be so much like a maze. You know, Venus for a lot of the month up until the 20th is going to be in Pisces, and it's going to be conjunct Neptune in Pisces, ruling planet in its ruling sign, which is probably throwing the 7 of Cups up for a lot of people because it can be like navigating through a fog. When it comes to your friendships, Taurus, you had Mercury retrograding in your group settings. When it comes to your friendship, you might have enjoyed reconnections with old friends quite substantially. That's not necessarily over. If you're dealing with a fire sign or an air sign, they may need you more than ever. Okay, so if it's a Libra, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Taurus, not a Taurus, you are a Taurus, an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, they may be needing you more than usual, possibly because of a breakup, possibly because of a fallout, but they may be leaning on you, and that there may be more of that in April. Mercury retrograde certainly for me had me wondering if I was actually a Taurus and nobody had told me, because for me it was all about old friends reappearing out of nowhere, which led me to my progressions chart, which shows that my ascendant is currently in Taurus. So if you're interested in astrology and things, because it's a great time to be interested, there's a site called Astro Theme, and it shows you your progressed chart. It's really interesting. I would go on there and have a read, because 12th house energy is all about astrology and tarot and those things. It's a great time for a Taurus to get involved. So do enjoy it. Do make the most of these energies. They're very potent. A lot of things are going to come up that are going to surprise you this month. A lot of people are going to surprise you this month. And although you're feeling that rebellious spirit with Uranus, they're going to need you to be steady. You could very well be somebody's guardian angel this month, Taurus. So bear that in mind, because who you help in April will lead to reward in May. Okay, so love you guys. I will see you in the next set of readings. I'll be doing a love reading on Vimeo that goes into each element individually. So if you want to join me there, you're more than welcome. And if not, I'll see you in the mid-monthlies. Bye.